what I want to do right now before we go any further is, if you're an older trapper, you're a more seasoned trapper, don't trip on this part right here, because we got to help our people that's coming on board. We want to let them sit at the table with us and break bread with us, right? So if you're new to coming to the show, this part is specifically for you. So when we talk about the S&P 500, the S&P 500 is actually 508 of the biggest stocks in the game, right? Or companies, right? That are public. So when they're public, it means that we can buy shares in those companies, right? Now the S&P 500 is broken down into 11 different sectors. Right? It's broken down into 11 different sectors. So every stock that you're going to buy off the S&P 500 is going to be in these sectors. Now, let's go a little further, because you have 4 what's called indexes or indices when you say a multiple, right? So you have the NASDAQ, which is 100, predominantly your tech stocks. And then you have your Dow, which represents 30 of your more industrial stocks. And then you have your S&P 500, which represents the 500 biggest. And then you have the Russell, right? The Russell is really the Russell 3000, but the Russell 2000 represents your small cap stocks, right? These are the smaller companies, right? So today I want to talk about these 11 sectors, right? Jose, you mind? You think they're gonna you don't mind if we talk about these 11 sectors right quick, right? Yeah, and so I want to break this down to you. So let me know if y'all don't mind, if y'all in the chat right quick. Let me know if y'all don't mind it right quick. If you're in the chat and you need this right here just to get a little more clarity, like say, Trap, I need the clarity, Trap. I need the clarity. I think one of the biggest misconceptions that I've done is I always just assume that people where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, you've been listening to Trappin' Tuesdays so many weeks, not realizing that, bro, we getting a new influx of people every week. And even some of the people who hear, they catching on, they're like, nah, I need that. So I think every week we're going to go back a little bit just to help our people out, Jose. Let's get into this right quick. So the S&P 500 is broke down into 11 sectors. So we'll go through these 11 sectors so you can understand what they are and how they operate, right? So the first one we'll talk about, now the 7 sectors, let me say this, they aren't numbered in any order, right? It's not an order that they're in, right? But also I want you to know something. The sectors are actually broke down into industries, right? So let's say right now we go to the financial sector, right? And this is the easiest one for me to show you, right? So let's say the financial sector is one of the sectors. Well, that financial sector will be broke down into industries. So one of the industries in the financial sector will be insurance, right? Insurance would be in the financial sectors. Guess what another industry in the financial sector would be? Payment processing. Guess what another industry inside of the financial sector may be? Regional banking. That's your regions, your smaller banks. Guess what another one would be inside of there? Wealth management or big banks. That's your JP Morgans, banks like that, right? Another part of that would be credit cards. So inside of the financial sector, you have industries, and in those industries, you have, y'all get what I'm saying? If y'all get what I'm saying in the chat, say, yep, we get it, Trap. So we go a little further, look at the healthcare sector. That's another sector. That sector may be broken down into pharmaceuticals, right? It may be broken down into medical devices that may be a part of that, depending on what it is. It can be broke down into like your vaccine plays. It can be broke down into, watch this, health insurance plays. You feel me? Health insurance. Yep, under your financial, you'll get Berkshire. So it's being able to say, I need you to understand that. So now let's go back. So we talked about 2. We talked about financials, and then we talked about healthcare. Now let's talk about consumer discretionary. What is that industry? Consumer discretionary is an industry where, it's a sector where people, that industry, oh, this is good, Jose, watch this. Watch what I'm about to say right here. Think about this industry as the disposable income industry. Watch this. This is about to be good. This sector has companies like Amazon and Tesla in it. I want you to think about this industry as the disposable income sector. Why? Because these sectors soar when people have disposable money. So think about it. If the economy is down and people don't have disposable money, will they go buy a Tesla? Probably not. Sales on Amazon gonna go down, but the reason why Amazon will always make money is because they got that AWS, Amazon Web Service. So I want you to think about that when you think about that industry. Nike, Disney, they over there, right? The next segment, information technology, right? That's your Microsoft, your Apples, right? Companies like that. Now, watch this. Communication. You're going to see Google, Meta. Now, you might be like, well, Trap, that's a technology company. True, but what do? They help you communicate. How do people, what do you use Instagram for, Facebook for? To do what? Communicate. Google, what do you use it for? Communicate. Why? Gmail. It's under that thing. All right, now let's go to this next one. Consumer staples. This sector, I want you to think about it as this. This is the sector that we got to spend money on regardless. I want you to think of this sector like that. We going to spend money on this sector whether the economy up or down. I want you to think about your Walmarts, your Costco's, right? I want you to think about them like that. Procter & Gamble, right? I want you to think about that like that. All right? Let's go a little further. Real estate. That can be individual companies and REITs. It doesn't always have to be a REIT to be in here. If you want to look at more, look at the ticker symbol VNQ. VNQ. I think that's it. For the real estate ETF. VNQ. Next one is your utilities. So you'll see companies like A.L. Smith. You'll see companies like Southern Company, right? Utilities. Now, these typically don't perform well. These companies pay a good dividend, but they probably got bad balance sheets because they're capital intensive. I hope y'all listen to me on this right here. I'm giving y'all a breakdown on all 11 sectors, right? Next, we talked about healthcare. Next one, we talk about energy, right? We talking about your Exxon Mobils. We talking about your Chevrons, your BPs, right? These companies right here going to be on the energy sector, right? Materials. Now, this sector here is kind of different. It can do a lot of things. So we can have like copper, gold, but we also going to have companies like Ecolab, the company you wash your hands with. Y'all ever saw that? You wash your hands with them, Jose. You go to the thing. Jose, you never done it? Wash your hands, man. Oh, all right. But also they have like the laundry mat things, the laundry detergent, but for industrial. That's what that company is too. Right? So we talking about materials. We talking about like fossil fuels, nickel, copper, mining companies. They'll be right there. GLD, that's right, New Mine Energy. These companies going to be right there. We talked about financials, and now the last but not least, we talking about industrials. We talking about Caterpillar. We talking about 3M. We talking about Fastenal. We talking about John Deere, right? We talking about industrial companies, right? These are the companies that will be on industrials. These are your 11 sectors of the S&P 500. These 11 sectors are also broken down into industry. Here's the cheat code. If you want to find a company that you like, now you know how to find its peers. So if you want to find Apple's competitors, it would be an information technology company. Apple's competitor won't be a company in consumer staples. It won't be a company in not its direct competitors. Right? Yep, Boeing will be in there. So if you're looking for a company, its competitors will be in the same sector as the company. I hope I helped y'all out with that, Jose.